Welcome back to the Energy Innovation Days 2020 and to another exciting session. We have someone now who's absolutely dedicated to protect the environment, and he is an absolute expert in the world of energy. He also has the longest job title of all the people we had on stage so far, so forgive me for reading that job title. He's going to speak about the transformative power of energy system integration. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Let me read your job title and formally introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the Principal Advisor to the Director General for Energy in the European Commission. For you today, Dr. Tudor Constantinescu. Welcome on stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be with you here today and to represent the Commission. I have to say these are very important times for the energy transition, and I very much welcome also this innovation days you have organized. I think it's really very important. I'm saying this because it's a context which we have to refer to. Of course, it's a context of recovery. We still are not completely out of a dramatic health crisis, and we need to think of how to pass the way to a better economic recovery, a more sustainable economic recovery. And for this, we have developed a number of instruments with member states at European level. It's, first of all, the Next Generation EU with its main component on recovery and resilience. But this comes on the general context of the energy transition and of the Green Deal, which you know is a priority for this Commission. And just on 17th of September, our President von der Leyen has announced this more ambitious target of 55% decarbonization by 2030, greenhouse gas emission reductions by 2030. What does this mean? This actually means that we have looked in the past also at strategies on how to decrease emissions by 20 and to decarbonize by 2050. Now we speak about really making Europe the first carbon neutral continent by then, and by 2030 to already have significant changes. So not to postpone, as it was in some previous scenarios, the transformation after 2030, but actually to start investing now and to make this happening already by 2030. CapEx has to be made now. Investments have to be made now. The advantage is that we avoid in this way stranded costs. We avoid in this way locking in carbon technologies, intensive technologies. So we really manage to support also the economic recovery while putting things on a most effective track. And overall, in time, reducing the OPEX by increasing the CapEx now, which is actually the investments now, which are so much needed in this context of economic recovery. This being said, I would like to refer to the subject of today. Now, when we speak about innovation and about the future energy systems, I think I have to take a little bit of this, and now we came with a lot of communication in support of the Green Deal. I'll refer to them briefly in the time I have, and even next week we'll come with important communications also on other aspects of the energy system, on renovation, on offshore, and so on. Now, the idea is that we have to acknowledge that the energy system of tomorrow cannot be the energy system we had so far. It was much easier in a way 20, 30 years ago to deal with an energy system where we had clear coal plants and hydro power plants and some nuclear power plants. And clearly, at the time, it was innovative to put the whole transmission distribution system in place. But if we compare with what we have now, it was clearly a much more simple energy system. With the challenges we have ahead now, it's more complex. It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. Technologies brought us both, development in technologies brought both opportunities and challenges. The opportunities are related, of course, first of all, to reduction of costs, for technologies which were not so advanced in the past, in particular for renewables. And this will continue. We have estimates that the cost of wind energy will decrease by 70% by 2050. with about 60% also for PV. So these are important estimates, and it's also important to acknowledge that progress has been made quite a lot. For example, also on energy storage, on batteries, 60% reduction of the cost over last 7-8 years, and this trend will continue. The same for hydrogen, for electrolyzers, for fuel cells. So this advancement in technologies allowed us to build an energy system with much more solutions. But of course, this is also a challenge to put these solutions well together. So to make a puzzle of 1,000 pieces, of course, is much more complex than to make a puzzle of 20 pieces. But this will really be the system of tomorrow, and this will help us in the years ahead. So this is the first big thing I would like to underline. Then, in this context, is the one of decarbonization. Now, the energy mix, we use about 20 in the final energy consumption. Electricity is about 23%. About 45% is heating and cooling, and about 1/3 it's actually in transport. What we see for the future, and all the analysis point that in the future the share of electricity will be much higher. Yeah, some studies point to 45, others to 60, but we say about 50% in the final energy consumption will be in the form of electricity by 2050. But still remains that about half should be in the form of gas and liquid fuels. And it's important to decarbonize not only the electricity part, but also the molecules part. So it is therefore a challenge and at the same time an opportunity here to use more and more the renewables to decarbonize through the possibilities offered, for example, by hydrogen, the part of molecules of the energy system. We will also have biogas, we have biomethane, and these technologies advance as well and opportunities. But to have this major change in a system where we know that electricity already now is a 55% target of the greenhouse gas emission reduction by 2030, electricity in total generation mix may reach 65% by 2030. By 2050, will be certainly over 85%. The issue of integration, of making best use of all the storage technologies, being chemical, being electrochemical, will be really important. The third point, which is also important and is part of the innovation, if you want, it's the energy efficiency. Of course, we speak since many years about energy efficiency, and we invested a lot, and Europe is also at the forefront in terms of energy efficiency policies, being for products, being for buildings. But still, we have an important potential where the innovation wave is under preparation, and this will be at the core of our preoccupation for the future as well. But not only energy efficiency of the components, but of the system as a whole. And therefore the importance of what we call energy system integration, sometimes was called sector integration, sector coupling, but it's going beyond what was just sector coupling. It's really to make best use of resources, and this is extremely important in the future energy system. In a future energy system where another important trend, fourth one, if I can say, is a coexistence of distributed generation with central power generation. So the diversification of sources and the fact that consumers will become prosumers, these are also important elements which will shape the future energy system. Based on all that, I would say that the main characteristics I could emphasize for the future energy system would be flexibility and adaptability. Flexibility, here we can have more, and we need more flexible generation, energy storage, demand side management, and adaptability refers to ability of the infrastructure to cope with the provocations also of the future. For example, the gas grids, to incorporate renewable gases, to incorporate hydrogen, to be repurposed maybe for hydrogen in certain cases. So this flexibility and adaptability are the main requirements of the next energy system and the future energy system. And how are we going to handle this? I would say we have two main tools. And these two main tools, which are very much relying on innovation, and when I say on innovation, is on technologies, but it's not only on technologies, it's on policies as well, it's on the regulatory framework as well. First is digitalization, which will enable consumers to become prosumers, will enable more effective operation of electricity markets, will help integrating artificial intelligence in the operation of the energy system, will also enable the Internet of Things, which is also another way to handle demand management programs. Of course, it comes with the challenge of cybersecurity and data protection, and on this we have to very clearly work as well. Next to digitalization, the other very important component of the way we can handle the flexibility and adaptability is energy system integration. Energy system integration, first of all, to use electricity, as I said, the share of electricity increase, in particular from renewables, to use it more effectively. So, for example, for heat pumps, if it is for heating, waste energy, circular economy will increase in importance. But even more, I would say it's the issue of the decarbonized gases of hydrogen and of synthetic fuels, which will have to play such an important role to manage, indeed, to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. So through digitalization to energy system integration, we'll have to progress. And when we speak about energy system integration and the hydrogen strategies the Commission has prepared and presented this summer, they were very much articulated also with efforts of many member states, including of Germany, who also came with a very ambitious hydrogen strategy, and which are to a very large extent aligned in the sense that we look into promoting mainly renewable hydrogen, into developing the capacities, strengthening the industrial capacities in Europe, where we already lead, but make this even stronger on electrolyzers, for example, and linking the various parts of the energy system in a much more cost-effective way together. We need to upscale these capacities to invest, and we have now a number of instruments at our disposal to support stronger investment agenda. We need also to strengthen the research and innovation component and the international cooperation to ensure that Europe is really leading the way to carbon neutrality, and it's also progressing in promoting the most cost-effective technologies worldwide. I would say that these technologies are accompanied by a strong investment program, and we try to, for example, for hydrogen at the same time to promote supply and demand. And when we speak about research and innovation and all this, we need to work with all the partners. That's why we also launched this Clean Hydrogen Alliance, as we have an alliance for batteries as well, which started to give results and work very well. In the context of hydrogen, the things are even more complex, if I may say so, because it's really a solution which helps us decarbonizing parts of the energy systems like heavy-duty transport, like fertilizers, like steel, which otherwise would have not had the solutions to decarbonize. So it really means innovation, and it is actually the part of the energy system which needs to be tackled in an innovative way. Yeah, it is not through the instruments of the past, and here we have to modernize also and to adapt the regulatory framework to be able to operate in a more and plan and operate in a more integrated way the electricity, the gas, the heat, the hydrogen pipelines of the future, and to make best use of the resources we have at our disposal, and also to keep very close to the consumers all the aspects which are necessary in terms of security, of safety, of private life of the consumers have to be also of affordability, of course, first of all, to the center of this energy transition, and in which innovation is clearly something essential. In fact, I would say that innovation is to, in a way, to work today with the future. So, and this is what I would like to congratulate also you for all these days of presenting all these innovative technologies, but also innovative solutions, innovative approaches, which are all important, on which we want to work together and to have this engagement, this partnership. And again, the example of hydrogen over the years paid off. We have used this industrial partnership and with the research community as well for the fuel cells and hydrogen that are taking. And this is the basis now of the clean hydrogen partnership, which we have launched at European level and which already attracted more than 500 companies. And we are sure that we'll succeed together in this journey by working hand in hand and aligned on our priorities and on our ambitions. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Constantinescu, for these important words, this important message to our conference. Thanks so much for taking the time.